The skies over Washington, D.C. were ripped apart on a seemingly ordinary Wednesday evening. At approximately 8:50 p.m. Eastern Time, tragedy struck near Reagan National Airport. American Airlines Flight 5342, a Canadair regional jet 700 operated by PSA Airlines, collided with a U.S. Army UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter. The Black Hawk, carrying 3 soldiers, was on a routine training exercise. Flight 5342, carrying 60 passengers and 4 crew members, was making its final descent from Wichita, Kansas. The collision occurred as the plane prepared to land, its path intersecting with the helicopter's flight path along the Potomac River. Witnesses watched in horror as the 2 aircraft collided, a fiery explosion illuminating the night sky. The impact sent shockwaves through the surrounding area, the wreckage of both aircraft plunging into the frigid waters of the Potomac River. The nation watched in shock and disbelief as news of the tragedy spread. The collision, a stark reminder of the fragility of life, left a nation in mourning. The incident, occurring so close to the heart of the nation's capital, sent ripples of grief and anxiety across the country. The immediate aftermath of the collision was met with a swift and massive response. Emergency personnel from multiple agencies, including the U.S. Coast Guard, DC Fire and EMS, and the FBI's dive team, raced to the scene. Despite their valiant efforts, hope dwindled with each passing hour. The icy waters of the Potomac, registering a chilling 35 degrees Fahrenheit, hampered recovery efforts and tragically confirmed the worst. There were no survivors. The somber task of recovering the victims began immediately. As of Thursday morning, January 30, 2025, 28 bodies had been recovered from the wreckage. Officials remained determined, vowing to continue the search until all victims were accounted for. The process, however, was expected to be long and arduous, the wreckage strewn across a wide area of the riverbed. The human cost of this tragedy was immeasurable. Among the passengers on Flight 5342 were several members of the U.S. figure skating community, returning from a national development camp in Wichita. 2 world champion Russian figure skaters were also among the victims, their promising careers cut tragically short. As the nation mourned, the painstaking process of investigating the cause of the collision began. The National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, took charge of the investigation, their team of experts descending upon the crash site. The investigation, expected to be lengthy and complex, would focus on several key factors. One key aspect of the investigation centered around the communication and coordination between the 2 aircraft. Investigators would examine air traffic control recordings, radar data, and pilot communications to reconstruct the events leading up to the collision. Another crucial area of focus would be the training and experience of both the pilots and air traffic controllers involved. The investigation would also delve into the safety procedures and protocols in place at the time of the incident. The NTSB would scrutinize the rules and regulations governing airspace around airports, particularly in close proximity to the nation's capital. The goal to determine if any existing safety measures failed or if any new measures could be implemented to prevent such a tragedy from happening again. The tragedy sent shockwaves through the aviation industry and beyond. The collision, occurring in the heavily regulated airspace near the nation's capital, raised serious questions about aviation safety. Newly sworn-in Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy addressed the nation, his voice heavy with grief and determination. Duffy called the collision preventable, a statement that sent ripples through the investigation and the nation. While careful not to assign blame before the completion of the NTSB's investigation, his words underscored the gravity of the situation. The investigation, he promised, would be thorough and transparent. The crash and the subsequent investigation reignited the debate on aviation safety. The focus shifted to preventing similar tragedies from occurring in the future. The nation demanded answers, seeking assurances that steps would be taken to prevent such a heart-wrenching loss of life from happening again. The skies over Washington, D.C., once symbols of hope and freedom, now served as a somber reminder of the importance of vigilance and the pursuit of safer skies. Thank you for watching. Please comment and subscribe.